The first resurrections. We need to know that there will be only two resurrections, but the first resurrection will be in two parts, the second resurrection will be 1,000 years later. Revelation 20 verses 6. In the first resurrections millions will be resurrected. None in the first resurrections will go ahead of the other. 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 15, For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord will by no means precede those who are asleep. The first resurrections that will be resurrected all at the same time, the 144,000 and those mentioned at Revelation 5, verses 9 and 10, and the great multitude, all at once. Many millions. The 144,000 are the 12 tribes that were sealed from as far back as Exodus 39 verses 14. There were 12 stones according to the names of the sons of Israel, according to their names, engraved like a signet, each one with its own name according to the 12th tribe. Revelation 7 verses 5 to 8. The 12 tribes were still in existence after Jesus' death. James 1 verses 1. A bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. Exodus 19 verses 6. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. This promise was given to the children of Israel, and the second resurrections will be discussed later. No one will be resurrected and go ahead of anyone in the first resurrections except Jesus. All will go at the same time in the first resurrections. 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 15. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord will by no means precede those who are asleep. In the first resurrection Christ faithful, no one will be judged as to good or bad persons. John 5 verses 24. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes in him who sent me has everlasting life, and shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death into life. Judging the first resurrection will be like the judges God appointed to judge the nation of Israel or guide them into God's kingdom. None of these two resurrections happened yet, as 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 15, is still not fulfilled yet. In the first resurrections Matthew 24 verses 41, 2 women will be grinding at the mill, working, one will be taken and the other left. Those who left back on this earth will be in the second resurrections, ones will be 1,000 years later. Revelation 20 verses 6, Blessed and holy is he who has part in the first resurrection, over such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Revelation 20 verses 6. One part of the first resurrections are 144,000 Jews. Revelation 7 verses 4. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. Verses 5. From the tribe of Judah 12,000 were sealed, from the tribe of Reuben 12,000, from the tribe of Gad 12,000. Verses 6. From the tribe of Asher 12,000, from the tribe of Naphtali 12,000, from the tribe of Manasseh 12,000. Verses 7. From the tribe of Simeon 12,000, from the tribe of Levi 12,000, from the tribe of Issachar 12,000. Verses 8. From the tribe of Zebulun 12,000, from the tribe of Joseph 12,000, from the tribe of Benjamin 12,000. No Gentile among the 12 tribes. Revelation 7 verses 4 and those and others mention at Revelation 5 verses 9 and 10, which are of the Gentile nations that were grafted in, which make up more than 144,000 kings and priests, not like the priest of old. It only could describe this way. Romans 11 verses 17. And if some of the branches were broken off, and you, being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them became a partaker of the root and fatness of the olive tree. No number is mentioning Revelation 5 verses 9. No number is mentioned of the Gentiles nations that is to be grafted or partaker of the root and fatness of the olive tree, to aid mankind to God kingdom. The other part of the first resurrection will be, the great multitude, all will be resurrected at the same time, which are not part of the second resurrection. Notice carefully Revelation 5, verses 9 and 10, these are the kings and priests, or grafted ones, are taken from every tribe and tongue and people and nations, not from the 12 tribe of Israel which is one nation. Romans 11 verses 17. Revelation 5 verses 9 And they sang a new song, saying, You are worthy to take the scroll, and to open its seals, for you were slain, and have redeemed us to God by your blood, out of every tribe and tongue and people and nations. Verses 10 And have made us kings and priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth. New earth. The 144,000 Jews or the 12 tribes of Israel were sealed from as far back as Exodus 39 verses 14. There are 12 stones according to the names of the sons of Israel, according to their names, engraved like a signet, each one with its own name according to the 12 tribe at Revelation 7 verses 5 and 8. The 144,000 are Jews that will be used to communicate with the Jewish nation in their custom, in the first resurrections. Revelation 5 verses 9 and 10, are of all the nations of the Gentiles that will be communicating with the Gentiles, no number is given. The 144,000 mentioned are from the 12 tribes of Israel, and at Revelation 5 verses 9 and 10, no number of Gentiles kings and priests mentioned from all the nations kings and priests grafted in. The first resurrection, millions of people, will not witness Armageddon or the destruction of this earth or the second resurrection. See second resurrections in other videos, as they will be in their new heaven and earth or the kingdom of the heaven.